surprised that Roy even admitted we were related until he heard me speak today. So it's an amount of confidence. That's good. Hope it's not ill-placed. Thanks for your time. It's good to be able to share with you. Yes, New Heights, I want to send greetings from our church family to your church family. And we're going to enjoy eternity together, worshipping our God. It's the great privilege that we have, wherever we go, to meet people that we're going to share in the worship of our great God. That's great. And New Heights, it's interesting, isn't it? We went from Cardiff Heights. We knew that there was a great development going on west Newcastle, and we moved to Edgeworth Heights. We thought, well, do we change from Cardiff Heights Christian Fellowship to Edgeworth Heights Christian Church? Or what do we do about that? What if the Lord wants us to move, because there's 10,000 houses going out there between Newcastle and Maitland, somebody's talking about. What if the Lord wants us to move again? Let's just call it New Heights. Wherever we are, wherever the campus is, wherever the church is, let's do that. So that's why we got the name New Heights. Yes, that was 9 years ago that we moved to that area. Because nowadays, to get new churches built in new areas, it's a real plan to keep us out. Nobody wants churches near their houses or anything anymore. And developers certainly don't want to set aside land. So anyway, that's where we've come from and where we're at. And I want to talk to you about part of the ministry because I actually believe you've been praying for some of our friends. And I want to talk about some of those friends. I want to introduce you to two of our friends who will be new to you. Hands and Feet. You've probably heard about that work that's going on starting in Sydney, and the Christian community churches of which we're all part of. 230 evangelical churches across Australia, as they say here, have a history of providing help for the helpless and bringing change to communities through the local church. That's a great thing to do because God, through His Word, places a high priority on us as His creation to help people in need. And that's the verses that they put up on, that's their website, if you go to Hands and Feet. And if you look at the verses that they put there, if someone has enough money to live well and sees a brother or sister in need but shows no compassion, how can God's love be in that person? John asked that question. In Acts, I've been a constant example of how you can help those in need by working hard. You should remember the words of the Lord Jesus. It is more blessed to give than to receive. And in Deuteronomy, right back, in Moses' words, right back at the beginning, there will always be some in the land who are poor. That is why I'm commanding you to share freely with the poor and with others in need. So the concept of poverty is not strange to any community. And we've had friends staying with us from the Philippines this last month. They went to Adelaide for a week and then they came back during the month of November, and we saw them off and they flew north and we flew south. And these are friends. His name is Pastor Bong. Bong is a very common nickname in Philippines. And Bong Bong and Dong are all common names, and his name's Bong. And he sort of wondered why people in Australia laughed when they called him Pastor Bong, because there's other Jews and things that know in Australia. So we had to inform him so that he wasn't taken by surprise. But they might think it's funny if you're a Bong. And his wife's name is Marissa. Now his name is Herman Rosales, so you can hear the Spanish influence, because the Philippines was under the control of Spanish territory for 450 years. And then they said they were under Hollywood for America for 50 years. And so you can hear the American accent coming through. And I'm sure many of you have spoken to many of our friends in Manila who work in call centres, anything in Telstra or some of the banks, you'll get help from somebody in Manila. And they are fantastic. They just, yeah. And how they do that work at all hours of the day and talk people through so calmly, because people are pretty irate sometimes, but they're wonderful people. But he said to me he had no idea there was poverty in Australia, because they had this idea that the West is everybody's rich, everybody's wealthy. And when he saw the needs in our community and our society, he said, oh, the church really is needed to help, isn't it? We all have a role to play in helping out and building our communities. And so he was surprised. Interesting, isn't it? But they come from poverty like, oh, it's just unbelievable. It's overwhelming, the poverty that we there. And where they work and the people they work with. So I want to introduce you to Pastor Bob and Marissa, as well as our friends David and Cherie Snellgrove. Now you may have heard of them because I believe you pray for them. They're part of AMT as well, and they're being supported by Hands and Feet as well. So that's an interesting tie-up there. Because this is on the ground, meeting people in poverty in Australia. And they said, oh, why wouldn't we link with somebody in Philippines too? Because our friends have moved over there, they saw such an incredible need. And so they're doing that too. Hands and Feet are supporting them. And also AMT and the missionary offering. Yes, our church has been taking up their missionary offering for Christmas this year too. I haven't heard our results, but wow, that's great. You guys are doing great support. That's wonderful. And that's from their website. I love their verse there too. And so the stories that you read on AMT are quite moving, aren't they, when you see people who are committing their lives to doing the gospel and the Great Commission to get out there and to share the good news. And Safe Haven is what Dave and Cherie decided to do. So Dave and Cherie, our name's Dave's sister is literally, I think, 2.5. Yeah. He's 50 now. Anyway, their compassion and their care, when they went to Manila, they spent a year over there because they thought they wanted to do something and they wanted to support the community over there, and the church was being established in Tatalon. Now, Metro Manila, 20 million people in a very small space, but there's a lot of people crowded in very small spaces. And it takes you forever to get across the city, even though it's short, because there's so many people and so much traffic and so many, it's just amazing. And they went there and they lived for a year, and then they said, we've got to do more than this. And the Lord laid it on their heart, and they went back. And they started Safe Haven because they met people like these kids here. And a lot of them were abandoned. A lot of them were disadvantaged, disabled, and discarded by society. And in fact, then they went to a dump site. And I want you to have a look at this video about the poverty and what happened when you see a boy that they found on the dump site, a place called Payatas. Payatas is in the north of Manila. There's 5 big cities, and Quezon City is a part of that. Quezon City. And Tatalon is where people live around the riverside there, which floods, and that's where the poverty is, where the poor people live. And outside of the town is where the dump site is, and the people live on the dump site. Not only that, the government makes them pay a fee so they can actually scavenge on the dump site. So we have a concept of a safety net. I've heard lots of politicians talk about that. And out there, they're made to pay a fee so they can actually scavenge for the in the dump. Amazing. Have a look at this.
My world, your world, our world. There are at least 500 470 million children living in severe monetary poverty worldwide. Did you get that? In the Philippines, the effects of child poverty are devastating, unjust, and too often fatal. And statistics reveal that child poverty is still on the rise. Child poverty is not just about the money. In the Philippines, 30% of children under the age of 5 experience severe malnutrition and chronic hunger. And 1 out of 4 children and youth are currently out of school. In the Philippines, it is estimated that 1.8 million children are abandoned or neglected. In the last 5 years, cases of abuse and violence against children have almost doubled, leaving many children exploited, vulnerable, and alone. Child poverty equals hopelessness. Safe Haven was a dream begun in the hearts and mind of its founders, who eventually snailed it in 2011, all the way back in Australia. In 2013, after years of mission work in the Philippines, the snail groups packed their bags and relocated to Manila to establish Safe Haven Community Center and Children's Home. At Safe Haven, we believe that every child deserves to be seen, heard, and loved. So our mission at Safe Haven is simple. We focus on children, their rights, education, physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being, and their desire to belong and to belong. At Safe Haven, we are a family. My name is Jeff. I am 10 years old. Nung dumating ako dito, pinuhain ako ng clothing. Nakita ko siya sa my church reading program. Pinakain niya ako ng rice and chicken.
Sa payatas ko, maraming basura katulad ng mga plastic, mga balat ng prutas, mga bote ng tubig, tsaka soft drinks. Pinapabayaan lang po ang mga basura. Hindi po ako nag-aaral, wala po ako ginagawa. Minsan pupunta ako sa mga bahay ng kaibigan ko para tumambay.
Ang nagdala ko dito, yung pinagis na niya mama, nana ko pong paranay. Tapos ang nagkalaga po sa kanya, yung kanya pinagis ng ate, at saka po yung mga anak ko, 5 taon po siya nung dinala dito sa akin.
Hindi po kami kumakain ng 3 beses sa isang araw. Sa payatas po, hindi po kami nagmerienda. Madalas po kami kumain ng mahirap, mga 11 o 12 ng gabi.
Nagkasama po ako, paggabi po, wala po kami kuryente, sila po, at saka kumain po, wala po kami electric fan, pero naman po, naranasan po rin naman po na nagpapulungan naman kami po na po na tao po na nilulungan kami, ginaayos po kami dito, para po na lang po kami sa electric fan, para po na kuryente po kami.
Yes, the story of Jeff. Jeff was actually conceived because a couple couldn't have children and he was going to be a surrogate baby. And when he was born, they changed their mind, things changed, so we're not going to have him, so they left him at the dump. And so his surrogate mother's grandmother, something or other, took him on, and she was an old lady. They lived to age 57. That's the average age in these areas because of the poverty and the health problems and so on. So the lifespan is not great. So this lady was worried about what's going to happen to Jeff. And it was out of these sorts of stories that Cherie decided we need to do something about this. Cherie was a preschool teacher and has a lot of experience with early intervention as well. I worked with her in schools in early intervention programs and that I was running it. And she was marvellous, compassionate heart and amazing with parents and helping them with kids with disabilities and difficulties and their development and so on. So she wanted to do that. And so she had some training in that way. She made herself available to God. And I can tell you now, my thinking on its head. Get your training, because this is the way I've been working. Get your training and then you go and do what I want you to do. Well, you know what? If you are willing, the harvest is great. And the Lord will train you. He goes before you. He doesn't lead from behind, he leads from the front. And you will be surprised how much he has used your experience in every way. And there is nothing wasted. And he will take you from where you are now to where you need to be, to do what he wants you to do for your purpose in life. And that's what happened. I have seen with David Cherie, and I've had to say, sorry Lord, I have all these preconceptions and all these expectations about my brother and sister, and they were wrong. And they went. David's an architectural designer. Well, a compassionate heart like you wouldn't believe. And stable and steady and just a real father figure to these kids. So that's Jeff's story. I want you to see one more story. It's only brief, but I want you to see this one.
My world.
Sorry.
This is Raven. He is a little boy who was part of our feeding program in Paracas, Quezon City. Raven was seen by our staff being left with his shack without any adult supervision. His parents worked in Paracas campsite as scavengers. Raven's older brother, who was 11 years old, would look after him along with his 5 other siblings, which meant he was not able to attend school. When we found Raven, he couldn't walk or talk and looked untidy. Raven couldn't breathe properly, the regularly had seizures and was very ill. Due to his serious health needs, Raven was brought to St. Haven for nutritional rehabilitation and medical intervention. 2 years old, This is Radiant now. With constant stimulation, the therapy and medical support, Radiant is now not only walking but running. He's a happy, confident, and caring player of other kids at Safe Haven. 7 years of age, he is now in Safe Haven's homeschooling program and achieving well. Radiant is now a happy, jolly child with a beautiful big smile. Radiant loves playing in the park, playing basketball with his friends at Safe Haven, and his favorite activity is swimming. At Safe Haven Community Center and Children's Home, we believe that every child deserves to be seen, heard, and loved within a nurturing and safe family environment. Safe Haven is a provisional refuge, a place that provides holistic child-centered care with the sole purpose of reuniting children with their teaching families or facilitating their transition into foster care or adoptive family. So how do we do this? Our team focuses on children, their rights, their education, their physical health, emotional and spiritual needs, and their overwhelming desire to be loved and to belong to a family.
Okay, so the backstory there is that Raiden has a spastic arm and leg. He probably had strokes when he was born and had a lot of difficulty being looked after by 11-year-old. He picked it up and he was just lying on the ground and lying in his own dirt. So this was his life. The parents were out on the dump getting the plastic, trying to wash it in the dirty water with the dead rats, which I've seen, the size of cats. Unbelievable. And they're trying to make a living. And they work all daylight hours just to make enough money in a day to get enough food so they eat dinner at night. And that's it. And Raiden just was in a very bad way. And now, with physiotherapy, notice that Karen, the physiotherapist, she's the social worker who works with them now. Government appointed, has to be paid for by Safe Haven, works a few days a week. She was in a sponsorship program that came along by the church that I'm going to talk about, the Pastor Long's church. And some of the kids needed to go to education further. They were really bright and couldn't go to uni because they couldn't afford it. And even if they could get in the fees, because free fees and whatever, because it's a state university, they still couldn't get there. They couldn't get books. They couldn't have access to computers. They couldn't do their homework. They couldn't do their assignments. They couldn't, so on. She was one of them. And she is now working with Safe Haven as a social worker. Yeah, it's pretty moving when you hear these things and see what's going on. This is not a big sell, by the way. This is to inform you what's going on. Your funds through AMT will already support Dave and Cherie. This is to inform you the sort of things that you might consider in your community too. You're not going to set up a Safe Haven town. Are there lonely people? Are there people who are disenfranchised? People who don't have a say? People with disabilities around you? Are there people who need company? Are there people that you can build community? Because my word, don't they come along when you see that smiling face and you see them building the community, and they can help other kids like you would not believe because they've been through it. They know it. And we can do that for each other. And that's one of our friends, Ian Trace. Brought him about that. He was a young boy. He did medicine. Ron and Nancy Trace were in our church and in our assembly, and Ian went through medicine and worked in the North Coast. Lovely practice there, but he's over there every 6 to 8 weeks doing hearing, sight, all those sorts of things, which stop kids from learning. If they can't hear, how can they learn to read? How can they hear the subtleties of the language, let alone speak in their own tribal group tongue, Tagalog and English? And these kids have to do that to survive. So he's doing that sort of thing all the time. Graceworks is a ministry of our church. Wim's been very involved with that over many years as establishing the whole stuff for the as the treasurer, and writing policies and procedures and so on, because we get tax deductibility, and that's a great thing to have because it encourages people, and the Australian government contributes to the work, which is wonderful. You get a tax deduction. But in order to do that, you've got to comply with certain rules. So we need to make sure that the money goes to who it's supposed to be, not ISIS and other groups, because that's what the government has said that openly. They don't want charity groups providing not money inappropriately. And they also want to make sure that the children are safe when you are working with children. And child safety and so on is such a big, important part of churches now after the Royal Commission, and it's really important that we have integrity and that our churches really build into that and we protect our children. And so Graceworks has to ensure that people over there are safe. And it's very sad, in reflection on that over there, that Dave and Cherie have some girls who live in the safe haven at the moment, who are being helped through a court case because of what has been done to them through people in authority and power and, you know, the nice, wonderful people who are doing all this for us, and in fact are. And so through the horror that they've had to live through, and they're being supported through the safe haven. And so Graceworks has provided keeping support to get the legal advice. I don't want to get too much into that stuff, but there's, at every level in society, these people have been poor, disadvantaged, and disempowered in so many ways. And so Graceworks has the overarching thing of helping that, and Graceworks also helps in this church, which I'm going to talk about. Here are our friends here, Pastor Gong, Marissa, their son Manuel, and Anna. Unfortunately, 2 years ago, Anna passed away from a very serious autoimmune disease, which there's no cure for, even in the West. It's only chemotherapy they can give them, like they're treating it like cancer, but it's not. And so all of the cells in her lungs just became smooth and no longer worked to take the oxygen in and out, and she just literally died from starvation, from oxygen starvation. And very sad to nurse the water through that. She's about 26, delightful. And she was a girl that was helped through her nursing, and she, delightful. Anyway, Manuel's just finishing his teaching degree and graduates hopefully next year. But Pastor Bong comes from a family of, his father was a dentist in the armed forces in the Philippines, very high ranking, and he's got 2 siblings above him, I think, who are both dentists, himself and his brother who's in financial planning and so on, and the next one's a doctor. So there's a whole... And after his father died, when he was a teenager, he was a very angry young man. And he hated the fact that these Christians, because they were a very Catholic family and a very close family, he hated the idea these Christians were coming to talk to his dad and saying, have you asked Jesus into your life? Because he's offering you eternal life. And his father became a Christian before he, as he was going through this process of dying, and his mother became a Christian. And Ron was so angry because he was angry at God because his father was going to die. And within 12 months of his father dying, he went to college, had no idea what he wanted to do with his life. Dropped out of engineering, was doing something else, commerce, I think, and then came to faith and he recognised Jesus Christ was his saving Lord and did care about him and did care about his father. Then he understood. I'm going to see like that again. It's okay. Wow. I need people to hear this good news, so he became a pastor. So, he's the baby in the family. All the others, all these professional people, have all been brought to the Lord. And it's fantastic. So that's the result of his family. The SSC And everything has a very long label over there. So Saved to Serve Christ Church, because it tells you a story. And that comes, and the little part of that building there, they hire this renters building for the second and third floors. Downstairs is a bakery and something else down there, shops and so on, but they have the two top floors. And they're very privileged to be able to afford that building. And they do a lot of community work there, and the whole area around there floods. Guess which part doesn't flood? It's a building. So I'll show you more of that in a minute. And this is their purpose. For even the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, to give his life as a ransom for many. So this is what the church is based on, and you'll see very similar to all our churches. It's wonderful to see how God has been moving in this people to fulfill the Great Commission through intentional evangelism, discipleship, pastoral care, and social action. And this is great. I know some of these pastors here, and they have established other churches as well, so the discipleship program and the feeding program, because some of the kids on the street don't get fed much, so they have to give them a certain number of days a week they feed, and they provide, I think, we've already been told, always been told, give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach a man 2 fish and you feed him for a lifetime. And I always believe that. Do you know what? People are starving. You give them that fish. And so they give that. And you try and do this as well, the Bible thing. It's not that or that, it's both. It's everything. Anything you can do helps. That's a wonderful thing to see and into their community. And the scholarships, which are obviously provided by people in Australia and through Grace Work and fundraising and stuff like that. And some of these kids are it's just marvellous to see that they're contributing to their community now. 14 of them graduated there, and this one is their health program. You can see that, getting them vitamins and minerals because they need those vitamins. And there's training for young people, even learning the guitar, filling their time with issues so that they have skills and abilities to use for the Lord. And they feel like they can contribute. So it's all young people that play the music actually. And I believe that's the young ones nowadays too, because they can play music. They can be involved in the churches, they can play. And here's the student centre. And because they've got Wi-Fi now, it's been put on so we can communicate with them, then the students can come and, some of them sit there all night getting their assignments because they don't have a computer at home. There's no electricity. They live in a shanty, they live in a cardboard box. It's a safe place to be. They can work there at night and pass the bombs up to all the hours walking around. And they'll stay in the second floor in one of the rooms so that the kids can get their access. That's the sort of thing they do. And of course, when the floods come, they come up very quickly. They have typhoons over there, very bad, and it only takes a few days to go down. So the good thing is, because they can't afford much food either, so these are the maps they sleep on. Can't afford that's common. That's where they have in their home. So it's luxury. It's a hotel, and there's copies of the Bible there, and 3 copies of it as well. And this is some of the food. No, it's not for sale. It's not special. It only lasts for a few days because they can't keep things and have refrigeration and have to keep turning it over. They need to keep emergency supplies so that they can provide it. And they go out and they reach out to their tribes as well. So that's the story today. I just wanted you to see what's going on at that work. And thanks for joining us. See you later. And I just want to finish with the words of the Lord. It's from Matthew 25. When the Son of Man comes in his glory and all the holy angels with him, and he will sit on the throne of his glory. All the nations will be gathered before him and separate them one from another, as a shepherd divides his sheep from the goats. He will set the sheep on his right hand and the goats on his left. Verse 34. Then the king will say to those on his right hand, "Come, blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was hungry and you gave me food. I was thirsty and you gave me drink. I was a stranger and you took me in. I was naked and you clothed me. I was sick and you visited me. I was in prison and you came to me. Then the righteous will answer him, saying, Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you drink? When did we see you a stranger and take you in, or naked and clothe you? Or when did we see you sick or in prison and come to you? And the king will answer to them, Assuredly I say to you, inasmuch as you did it to one of these, least of these my brethren, you did it to me. Then he will also say to those on the left, Depart from me, you cursed, into the everlasting fire prepared for the devil and his angels. For I was hungry, and you gave me no food. I was thirsty, and you gave me no drink. I was a stranger, and you did not take me in. Naked, and you did not clothe me. Sick, and in prison, and you did not visit me. Then they also will answer him, saying, Lord, when did we see you hungry and thirsty, or a stranger and naked, or sick, or in prison, and did not minister to you? Then he will answer them, Assuredly I say to you, inasmuch you did not do it to one of the least of these, you did not do it to me. And these will go away into everlasting punishment, but the righteous into eternal life. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you that you did not leave us alone. When we were naked before you, when we were sinful, lost, broken, you cared for us. When our sin was keeping a barrier between you and us, Father, we just thank you that you loved us so much that you sent the Lord Jesus Christ to die for us, to take the punishment for our sins, and that personally we can say, thank you, Lord Jesus, for dying for me. And I just want to thank you, Lord, that you have loved us so much. You did not leave us alone. I pray, Lord, that you'll help us to know how we can share your great message, this great commission, to love others and to share this good news of Jesus Christ. We thank you for him, and we ask you to pardon us with your blessing. In his really and precious name. Amen.
Thank you, Brother Steve. I'd like you to turn your hymn book to 410, because